everyone. I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Equine Sanctuary. Today is Thursday, February 17th, 2022. I have just arrived home from our veterinarian critter care animal hospital in Centennial, Colorado with our 4-year-old Papuan carpet python, Rosalee. She's had 2 surgeries to fix a structural defect in which the great vessel from her heart had grown over her esophagus and was keeping her from being able to swallow. So Dr. Liza Pfaff did a surgery where she severed the esophagus, disentangled it from the great vessel, and then resected the esophagus. It healed. Unfortunately, when it healed, the smooth muscle of the esophagus healed together. Scar tissue built up and the esophagus healed shut. So Rosalee had to have a second surgery in order to clean out her esophagus. Dr. Pfaff inserted a Foley catheter into the esophagus to hold it open while the tissue was healing, and then she removed that, and Rosalee got to come home and was doing quite well. And then as we increased her meal size, she started to exhibit pain behavior and discomfort. And then she ended up regurgitating a larger meal that she was given. And so obviously I took her back to Dr. Pfaff so that we could figure out what was going on. And she's been up at Critter Care for about a month so that Dr. Pfaff could do some barium series radiographic studies where she could feed Rosalee and watch the food actually pass through her esophagus, through her whole digestive system, and then out the other end. And all that's working fine. And then she was also able to obviously watch Rosalee eat several meals and watch her behavior post-feeding. And what we have determined is happening is if she eats anything larger than a fuzzy mouse, it's very uncomfortable for her. And she starts to exhibit this behavior that indicates that she's painful and uncomfortable. And she has difficulty passing like a hopper mouse or anything bigger past the surgery site and through her digestive tract. It's also difficult for her if she eats more than one fuzzy at a time, and that's what was causing the regurgitation. Normally, it's safe for snakes to eat more than one prey item at a time as long as they aren't equaling something larger than what would be a normal meal size. And obviously, snakes can normally eat very large meals. But because Rosalee was born with this structural defect and had to have this surgery in order to save her life and allow her to continue having a life, she's going to have to be on very small food items probably for her whole life. So right now, she's not allowed to have anything larger than a fuzzy mouse, and I'm to feed her one of those every few days or a couple of times a week. And I can try injecting like Critter Care carnivore liquid diet into that to give the fuzzies a higher caloric density. And I wish she would eat Reptilinks because they're really calorie dense, but she doesn't seem to want to eat Reptilinks. She likes her mice. So anyway, Rosalee's back home. She's doing well. Everything is going well post-surgery other than she's restricted, at least for the near future, to eating small food items, which just means in her particular case, she's going to have to eat more frequently. And I am going to try injecting those food items with a high calorie carnivore diet so that she's getting more calories per fuzzy than she would be getting just with the fuzzy alone. So I'm sure that she's going to be happy to be back in her regular enclosure. I'm going to go put her there now. She's been at the vet for a month, but she's kept in like a terrarium there with her own hide and heat lamp and UVB. And it's long enough for her to stretch out. But she doesn't have all of the things that she has here. She has a water dish here that also doubles as a hide, and she likes to get underneath that. She's got a rock here that she likes to bask on. She's got a humid hide, and then she has a branch that she likes to climb on. So she probably missed those things, maybe. I don't know, maybe she didn't. But at any rate, I'm happy to have her home. I'm happy that the doctor was able to observe her feeding behavior and just her normal living behavior for a month so that now we're both on the same page. And if anything else comes up, and as I describe Rosalee's behavior and activity to Dr. Pfaff, she's going to have a better understanding of the things that I'm telling her. And plus I take lots of videos and we share texts and videos back and forth. So Dr. Pfaff and the whole staff of Critter Care Animal Hospital have just been fantastic in taking care of Rosalee. I'm very, very pleased with them. So let's get her put back in her normal enclosure. And if you're wondering what that is, she's in a vision, well, their version of the 3x2x2, but it's not exactly 3x2x2. It's like 3 feet by 23.5 feet deep by 21.5 feet tall or something. It's a weird off size, but it's basically a 3x2x2. You ready to go back home into your regular habitat? Good girl. She's very undersized. If you haven't noticed, a 4-year-old Papuan carpet python should be larger than this. She's undersized because of all of her medical issues. And those medical issues aren't due to an illness or disease. They're due to this structural defect that she was born with. And thankfully, Dr. Pfaff was able to correct that surgically. But she's always probably going to be small because she's going to be having to eat very small meals. And so she's just not going to grow as big as her clutch mates, which I have 2 of her clutch mates here. And I think perhaps I've shown you one of her clutch mates in a previous video, Vash or Trijemma. Those are her 2 clutch mates that I have here. Are you going to go in all the way? All right. She loves to go under this water dish. She likes to lie in there a lot. Oh, I still need to put her hide. So some of her things from her enclosure do accompany her to the vet, including her hide. So I need to put that in here for her. And right now I don't have any substrate at all in here because I need to watch for defecation, regurgitation, urate production. And also, I need to make sure she doesn't accidentally get her teeth caught on any material when she's eating, because she gets so excited when she's eating that we've had that happen a couple of times. So she's got paper towel in that little tub over there, and she's got damp sphagnum moss in her humid hide. But right now, I just talked to the vet, and we're just not going to put any substrate in her enclosure for the time being. This is her other hide, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in here for her. And then I'm just going to let her get settled. She was given a meal this morning, so she doesn't need to eat. This is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I might feed her again on Sunday or Monday, but I'm going to let her digest the fuzzy that she had this morning and let her get settled back in and then give her another meal. This is another one of our Papuan carpet pythons. This is Moondor. He came from Eric Burke at EB Morelia, and he's also 4 years old. So he is the same age as Rosalee. He's in a 4x2x2. And I know I'm not holding them next to each other, but he's quite a bit larger than her. And I don't feed large food items, and I don't feed typically very frequently. Mine don't grow ginormous anyway. But you can see, hopefully, that he's a lot bigger than her. And I'll see if her sisters are out and about. This is one of Rosalee's sisters. I'm not really sure what she's doing. I mean, clearly she's partially basking. I'm not sure what she's doing with the rest of her. But you can see that width-wise, hopefully you can see that she's bigger around. Thank you for watching and for your interest if you've been following Rosalee's medical progress. While I was at the vet, unfortunately, I picked up Nakara's ashes and the equivalent of a snake paw print. Nakara died recently, just on February 11th, from a heart attack. So a necropsy showed that she had a structural defect in her heart, where the vessels going into the heart were enlarged and the vessels leaving the heart were undersized. And eventually she reached a point where that wasn't adequate to keep her body going, and she had heart failure. She was 5 years old. Nakara was a female carpet python. She was an undocumented carpet python, likely a coastal carpet or maybe a Darwin carpet or a cross. And in case you wonder what it looks like when you get your snake's ashes back, all of the ones I've gotten back come in this little box, which I think is beautiful. It, you know, will have the snake's name on it along with the day that they died. And then Dr. Pfaff and her staff always make an impression of the head, and they get an impression of the tail. And this is in clay, and you can bake it, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So I thought I would share that with you. And until next time, everybody, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.